Hey everybody, it's Hiza Nerd here, alongside
Geek Mora.
We are here tonight to do a horror tag, which we were tagged by our awesome friend Todd All Things Horror. And if you don't know who he is, he's an amazing YouTuber with an amazing horror channel. Awesome reviews and movie reviews, figure reviews. He does some unboxings. He's a great friend of ours, so go check him out immediately. He tagged us in a horror movie-ish tag, and it was enormous, so we had to write everything down. But without further ado, let's go ahead and crack into it. The first question is, how old were you when you saw your first horror movie?
Not 100% sure.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But I'm thinking I was around 10-ish, and I know for sure that the first horror movie that I saw was The Shining.
And you were around 10?
I was 10-ish, yeah. And it was, mind-blowing.
My dad has always been one to fall asleep really early, so I was always up late with my mom, and she's a huge horror buff, as, spread to me. So I know I was younger. I want to say I was 4 or 5 when I saw my first horror movie, and I was torn between Halloween and Alien, and I thought about it, and I'm pretty sure it was Alien, the very first horror movie I ever saw. It's my mom's favorite horror movie, and I'm completely obsessed with the xenomorph, as you all should probably know by now. So I'm pretty sure Alien was my very first horror movie when I was 4 or 5. She got me into horror pretty early, and I thank her very much for that.
What freaked you out most about it?
Nothing has ever scared me about Alien. I absolutely love that design. That creature is just so original and so detailed. So many different weapons, from the secondary mouth, the spear for a tail, acid for blood. I absolutely love it. And the different stages. You got the chest burster, the face huggers. I mean, I love it. The Queen.
I think with The Shining, the thing that bothered me the most is that scene where she's running up the stairs, everything's already gone all crazy, and she's running up the stairs, and there's something weird going on between the dude and the person in the bear suit or whatever, and that really disturbed me.
I remember there was a scene in The Shining, a bathtub or something, wasn't there?
Yeah, that scene's disturbing.
Yeah, that was pretty disturbing. Alright, number 2. What genre of horror films do you like the most? This one we agree on.
Yeah, we both said slasher films.
I mean, obviously you have your classic monster movies from back in the day, but I don't think with our genre, horror would be where it is without the slashers, because I love
Jason,
Freddy, Leatherface, Chucky. Because I love all kinds of the new gory, torture-style horror, and I don't think that we'd be where we are. Granted, horror, in a lot of people's eyes, could have taken a huge step backwards. But I have enjoyed what the slasher horror films have produced for the future, such as Saw, Hostel, just those kind of movies I really enjoy. Paranormal Activity, Insidious, Conjuring, I really enjoy those kinds of movies, and I don't think we'd have them without the slashers. So.
And who doesn't enjoy seeing some girl stumble through the woods?
Or Jason's slamming her in a sleeping bag against a tree. That's one of my favorite movie deaths in horror. Number 3, what is your favorite horror film and why of all time?
So I had to go with, since it was my first, it's hard for me to not say The Shining. I love The Shining so much. That's an amazing movie. But that's, really close tied with Nightmare on Elm Street, so.
Oh yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street's an amazing movie. I have to go with that as well. I let her have that as her answer because I'm just as big of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. I absolutely love the original. Let's go back to just what I was saying before with the slashers. We wouldn't have what we had without the original Texas Chainsaw. We wouldn't have all these remakes that I'm a huge fan of. I absolutely love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, which was the origin story of Thomas Hewitt, where he was born, where he was raised, how his family treated him, what he became. So I would definitely give props to the original. But I'd have to say my favorite was The Beginning, the origin story of Texas Chainsaw Massacre was excellent. Who is your favorite horror actor?
you should go first on this one because he's mine too, but I picked.
Okay, yeah. Since I gave her Nightmare on Elm Street as her favorite movie, I got to choose Robert Englund as my favorite horror actor because he nails it as not only an amazing villain, Freddy Krueger, but he's relatable. He's just he's comedic. He's just brutal, but you can see his face, you can see his expressions. When it comes to Michael and Leatherface and Jason, they're expressionless. They're just killing machines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a big mass. Where
like
Freddy,
you can put anybody in a Michael
he's got
or Jason
such a
costume.
personality. I love the glove, and I mean the backstory is a little disturbing, obviously, but he in whole is amazing. And Robert Englund, which is like the person who portrays Freddy, my favorite horror actor, kills it. They'll never be able to replace him. I don't care how hard they try. I know that they're trying a second time to remake it, but the only person that can play Freddy Krueger is Robert Englund.
So since he picked Robert Englund, I had to go with Brad Dourif. I think it's pronounced that way. The guy who plays Chucky. So I just love that actor. He played like I think his very first movie was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is an awesome movie as well, and he does really well in. And then like I know he's like Grima Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings, but yeah, like he's an amazing Chucky. Like he's kind of got some of the same aspects like that Robert Englund has with being like kind of like comedic and.
Oh yeah, he's very comedic, charismatic.
Yeah.
I definitely. He has like more energy and more personality. So he's more of a relatable character.
Yeah.
I
and
enjoy
really
that.
like his acting is so diverse. Like if you like, it's hard to notice like the different roles. Like you wouldn't think he'd be Grima Wormtongue and Chucky.
Right. All right. The next one is, who is your favorite horror director? You've got two on there.
So I pick I'm gonna actually go with Stanley Kubrick because like I've been, Shining was my first movie. It's probably my favorite.
He's amazing.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick's an amazing director. He does like awesome movies. I mean, and they're so diverse too. Like that's another like really diverse.
We'll go ahead and
director.
We'll go ahead and agree that John Carpenter we'll say is a mutual second favorite between both of us. I would have to say my favorite's Wes Craven. He created The Nightmare on Elm Street. Like obviously, if you can't tell, we're huge Elm Street fans. So I give a lot of credit to Wes Craven for what he's created. Even with the Scream movies, may he rest in peace because he was a true legend, and it's really sad that we lost him.
Yeah.
But his work will forever live on, and he'll always be my favorite horror director. What is your favorite ending to a horror film?
Okay, so sticking with my theme tonight, I absolutely it was just so epic when Jack Torrance is just frozen dead in the snow, in that maze. He was so determined. Yeah, he was so determined to hunt his family down and kill him, and then he was just so dumb and just froze to death in the snow because he got lost. And he's just got that stupid look on his face. So
yeah, that was definitely an epic ending. If you've seen our previous videos, a 2-pack, the Freddy vs. Jason 2-pack pop set that I'd love to have is the same as the ending to Freddy vs. Jason, where they actually stab each other. Now I know Jason ends up decapitating Freddy and all that, but I love how they kill each other pretty much where Jason stabs him with the arm and Freddy stabs him with the machete at the same time. And that whole sequence, Jason comes out of the water holding Freddy's head, and the camera zooms in on Freddy and he gives you the wink and everything. Such an epic ending. I was a big fan of that movie. The acting was a little off, but I would definitely love to see more horror icon mashups like that. Freddy vs. Jason was a huge part of my teenage years. I loved it. I still own it today. It's an amazing movie.
Just one fun. This is super random, but a funny thing about Jack Nicholson is you notice in his movies, his characters first names are always Jack.
Are they?
Yeah, like most of the time.
Is it, I'll have to look into that. I'm not even sure about that. Which horror TV series have you watched?
You guys know, like...
Yeah, obviously. We have the same answer for the next two. Like, The Walking Dead, our favorite, by far, horror television series.
Yeah.
Pretty much gonna go ahead and stick with that. I don't think there's anything that even would come close in our opinion, so... Yeah. I'm so stoked for season 6 to start. Like, Sunday or less than 48 hours till season 6 premiere. All right, which horror comics have you read?
Walking Dead.
Again, we've both purchased The Walking Dead Compendiums 1 and 2. Compendium 3 comes out next month, I believe, and I can't wait. But yeah, if you like The Walking Dead show, don't be deterred to check out the comics because it's a different story. And if you don't like the show, check out the comics because it is a different story and it's a little bit more mature and gory. And
definitely,
it's intense. It's a good read. Definitely recommend it. So, Walking Dead TV show and the comics, different stories, kind of follow the same path, but characters end up in different situations. You might even see a character that in the show or in the comics that wasn't in the others, so it's always good. How many horror films do you own? And this is pretty ironic.
We both happen to own 46 horror films. Different ones, too.
Different ones.
We have some of the same ones.
There were a couple that we added. We weren't sure because it was like we both included Zombieland and Edward Scissorhands, so a little like comedic horror and like, I don't know, drama horror. But I like the Edward Scissorhands mini is in horror series too, so...
And the Zombieland, I feel like zombies, that's
an excellent movie too. I think we both included Shaun of the Dead too, so that's an excellent movie, like comedic horror. What is the worst horror movie you've seen and why? I will go ahead.
It's Centipede.
Yeah, definitely the Human Centipede. That was, am I doing that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Human Centipede was very disturbing. The beginning was kind of intriguing, I suppose. You know, the guy, he owns this creepy little house. These teenagers show up stranded. He offers them help and then tortures them and kidnaps and tortures them. And then the final product of what that movie produces is way beyond anything that I was interested in. So definitely the worst horror film I've ever seen was The Human Centipede.
For me, I'm just really over, like, these exorcists, these new exorcists. There's one exorcist movie, like,
yeah, I agree.
And that's it. And all the rest of them, like, with, like, it's just, they're cheesy and they're annoying. Like, I'm over really ever seeing another Exorcist.
They're all just cheesy versions of the original
And it's
Exorcist.
all the same. They're all the same movie, too. There's, like, some girl, she's possessed, like, she ends up in a basement in a chair, and, like,
or, like,
whatever.
some insane asylum.
Yeah, and it's just, like, whatever.
Over the Exorcist, like, spin-offs, because there's only one.
There's the Exorcist, and that's all there ever needs to be.
Alright, what is the scariest horror film you've seen?
I don't get super scared at horror movies, but, like, I was a little bit, like, I guess, like, I had some bad dreams after watching the new Evil Dead, and it was just for, like, a couple of scenes. I remember the scene where the girl, tries to, like, saw her arm off, and she's, like, standing by the fridge, and it just, like, falls off. Like, that was, like, pretty disturbing. And then, like, they're, like, shooting her with, like, a nail gun and, like, a shotgun, and, like, she just won't die. And then she, like, comes back to normal, and she's, like, a real, like, sweetheart, and she's like, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
And it was just, that like, was really disturbing. So,
I remember that there was a scene where she, like, cuts her tongue in half. There was a girl that cut her tongue in half that was really disturbing, too. But the scariest horror film... I remember when I was a kid, I was at a slumber party, and I saw one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets that haunted me for a while. Like, I had bad dreams. But if I had, as an adult, one of the scariest films since I've already had, like, experiences would be Paranormal Activity. Like, that, I just don't like the thought of a ghost haunting my bedroom of all places. Being dragged out of bed and all that, it doesn't, I don't like that. It gives me chills. Every time I watch that movie, it gives me chills, because then I just like turn it off and I'm about to go to bed and I'm just like, well, there's the hallway. So definitely probably the scariest movie I've seen psychologically would be Paranormal Activity. What horror film besides your favorite would you recommend to your viewers? Since I didn't get to say The Nightmare on Elm Street as my favorite, that would be mine as a recommendation to anyone who hasn't seen it. Definitely check out the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Amazing.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and say Gremlins, because if you don't know Gizmo, like, you need him in your life, because he's amazing.
He's an amazing little mogwai.
Yeah.
He follows the rules. Johnny, I know you're listening. I love me some mogwai, like little Gizmo. He's a stand-up little fella. What do you think of the remakes of old classics? I'll let you go ahead and say.
For the most part, I like them, except for Nightmare on Elm Street. Like,
that was awful.
I liked Texas Chainsaw, Rob Zombie's Halloween's.
I even can dig that new Friday the 13th.
So I know everybody out there hates Michael Bay, but yeah, I like that Friday the 13th as well.
It's growing on me. I've seen it maybe 4 or 5 times, so it's finally like starting to grow on me. But definitely like the, let's see, I love the Halloween and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remakes. Rob Zombie's killing it. I hope he does good with his 3rd installment. I've never been disappointed with the Texas Chainsaw remake, and I have to agree, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake is just, it doesn't cut it.
Digital Freddy doesn't
You
work.
can't do anything without Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Like, if you're gonna try and replace him, you might as well just throw the script away right away. Don't have any faith. I don't know why. I just, after Rorschach, Freddy Krueger.
Rorschach was awesome.
Rorschach is awesome. Yeah, he was an amazing character. He was awesome in Watchmen. That was a great actor, but he just didn't cut it for me as Freddy. I just could not get behind that movie at all. And last but not least, if you could pick one horror movie to watch in the cinema originally, like when it first came out, what would it be? And mine would definitely be The Exorcist. I would love to see everyone's reactions, people fainting and throwing up and just having no idea what they were watching. So, it was so groundbreaking for its time. Like, I gotta give major props to Linda Blair and The Exorcist. Just absolute epic.
My mom actually went to see both The Exorcist and Jaws in theater, like, when they first released, and I'm so jealous. But, like, so yeah, those would probably be my 2. And I know, like, she talked about how, like, of course with Exorcist, like, people were, like, fainting and freaking out and stuff. And then with Jaws, like, everybody's seen Jaws and nobody went in the ocean anymore. Like,
oh, yeah. Definitely ruined everybody's swimming.
Like, nobody's going swimming in the ocean.
I don't have this written down, but it just came to me. If I had to choose a second one, and it's kind of cheating, I know, but I'd love to see Alien, the original Alien.
That would be cool.
Like, back in the day when it first came out, too. Ridley Scott's a genius, and I hear he has like a lot of big plans and a lot of projects for not only Prometheus but Alien. Like, he's got all kinds of stories where they're all going to intertwine and everything, so that's really exciting. All right, that was that. Sorry, it was so long and winded, but we're like huge horror film fans, and like thank you, Todd, for tagging us because we were excited to do it. Now it's time for us to tag somebody else.
And if you've done it, like, we're not sure who all's done it, so, but I'll go ahead and tag you, Manda, if you haven't done it.
Mander McFlander.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, we know this has been going around for a while, so if you've already done it, you don't have to worry about it, just let us know, just so we don't feel like idiots, but I will go ahead and tag good buddy Stephen Higgins, just to see, you know, we want to see Manda and Stephen's
opinions. And if you have already done it, like, let us know so we can watch, because we must know.
Yeah, if you've already done it, let us know. Send us a link so we can watch it. If anybody else wants to partake, let us know. And let us know what you think about our answers. Hit that thumbs up. It means a lot. This is Has a Nerd Out.
See you later.